Can Sell This podcast.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 6 of We Can Sell This podcast. I am your host, Cameron Miller. With me, as always, is a man whose fanny pack is never without Ben Gay, Mr. Nelson Piper.
Yo!
And the Napoleon to my snowball, Mr. Paul Bukowski.
E-I-E-I-O! What's up?
Not much.
Animal
Either
Farm.
Of you can tell
Animal
me,
Farm.
Ah, you Googled it. You lying
Animal
asshole.
Farm?
I know
Wait,
you
I didn't
Googled
even
it.
hear what you
Yeah,
said.
He said,
Yeah,
you weren't even paying
figures.
attention.
Something
I
about
said the
Napoleon Dynamite.
No, I said the Napoleon to
My
my
snowball.
snowball. It's a reference to Animal
And
Farm.
for everybody who doesn't know what's going on, listeners, Miller said that he'd give $15 to anybody who could name the reference that he
Anybody
was doing
out
for
of the
Paul.
two of us.
Yeah, not anybody, just either of you.
Okay, so just one person, me.
So wait, how much money are you getting?
I'm getting $15.
15, but I heard him typing over there, so it doesn't
I just
count.
put Napoleon and Snowball, and first thing Wikipedia Animal Farm. I was like, oh hell yeah!
Well, duh. That's why I said.
So Cameron, to
I
make
had
your
name
payment,
it.
you're going to want to go to wcstpodcast.com and click on that donation
Click the
button.
donate page. Yeah, but don't I just get to like pull it back out because, or do I? If I put it in there, do I get at least $5 of my dollars back?
What?
We split it 3 ways.
We can
No.
figure that out.
I think I should. I think that would be fair.
Right.
Fine.
Yes. Score. All right, $10. No problem.
I mean, I did cheat.
All right. We've got a little interesting thing to bring to everybody this week. I don't know if we've mentioned it before on a previous episode, but we are all 23 years old, which means we are 5 years removed from graduating high school.
We are? I thought Nelson.
Yeah,
I thought
know.
Nelson
You
was
forgot,
24.
didn't you?
No, I'm 23, man.
Is you young bastard.
That's me.
Cool.
I think he's the oldest one
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, January 20th.
I just remember I
Me
have
and
a memory of you being older than me, and I was jealous on the bus,
Oh yeah,
but then I got over it.
because I stole your girlfriend.
You wanted to go there? Oh, man.
Oh man,
I was like,
bringing up
I
some
have no
stuff from
second
grade 5.
This guy's doing
I have
backhand
no frame
springs.
of reference for this.
Nelson was pretty cool.
Backhand
Nelson was pretty
springs?
cool on
Yeah.
the playground.
Yeah,
Dude, I don't even remember you being around till we were in like 8th grade.
fair enough.
He did this. He did the musical thing with Andy Spicer, where they did the Splish Splash. I was taking a bath. This jackass.
Yes.
Why would I? What are you talking about?
Listen to me, okay? Remember when we used to do music class and we had the?
No, we did mock rock. It was the mock rock for.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
That was in high
Oh,
school. We
I
had
don't know.
music
Oh
class
no
when
no
we
no!
were in,
I know
like,
what you're talking
You
about.
know what I'm
8th
talking
grade.
about,
Yeah, that
Mr.
music class.
Backhand spring. So
Backhand
anyway,
springs,
he comes in
moonwalks.
doing his flips and flaps, and yeah, stole my girlfriend.
Yep.
At the time was
Lauren Snyder.
Lauren Snyder.
Oh yeah.
Good times.
things work out, Nelson.
We lasted a solid 4.5 weeks.
That's a solid relationship in 8th grade.
Yeah. Pretty impressive.
Good for you. Yeah.
Thank you.
You were.
I kept my
quite
stuff
monogamous
on
back then.
lock.
For being a Mormon, you were quite monogamous. Let me put it that way.
And here, oh gosh, I just don't even know how to respond to that without like.
Without just venting
Just let it
anger,
go.
like
Yeah.
you
Just
just
let it
did.
go.
Like
Hey.
literally.
Hey,
like
just go put
literally
another
just
pair of pants
seething
on.
at me.
It'll be okay.
I don't know what that means.
I
They
don't
wear
get
2
that
pairs of
reference
pants.
either.
Whatever. All right, never mind. All right. Anyway, what I was originally gonna say here is we've started to get like Facebook notifications about people trying to ask us if we want a 5-year reunion, and it seems like a lot of the feedback that everyone's throwing out there is that we'd rather wait another 5 years. I know I personally would rather wait another 5 years.
Yeah.
I think I wrote something to the effect that I haven't had enough illegitimate children or decided in the middle of a midlife crisis that I could use an expensive sports car. So I haven't quite hit my downward spiral strong enough yet.
Yeah.
And we really need. I think everybody needs that. I think we're all too much on like.
I think
oh, hey,
everybody, the majority of you
It's
guys
still
are out of school.
acceptable.
You're
It's-
just getting out of school, so it's not that big of a deal to you guys yet.
Yeah, it's still acceptable for people to like not have it figured out yet, I think at this
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
And when I go back, I know I want to just see all the all the crap.
I just want to come in on a helicopter.
Like me as a incredibly vindictive person, want to see about the 5 people I enjoy have success, and then everybody else just wallowing in self-loathing.
Yeah, I'd like that too if everyone was still working at freaking what's that place called, Curly Cone, or the BP gas station. That would really make my day.
Yeah, douche it up.
Or if they just all have jobs in the outlets in Bertrand still.
Ooh,
Yeah.
man.
Oh.
Those are burns.
If
deep
every
burns.
single person every person we graduated with had a manager position at an outlet
I got
store,
one for you.
that would
I know
be,
a lot.
that would
I
be
know a
my
lot of
ideal
them out
outcome.
there working out in Frankenmuth. I see you. I see you
I
out
see
I
there.
work
you.
out in Frankenmuth right
Yeah,
now.
they're working in Frankenmuth, getting dollars. Shit.
I see a lot of people that we went to school with out
Yeah.
there. I do not enjoy that.
Really? I'm just removed from this entire situation. I think
You were smart.
that's all I tried to
got
do.
it.
Get away.
Congratulations.
You were smart. You got out.
I
there
got
to
away
Utah,
and I
don't-
came back, and I don't know why.
Yeah, you fucked
I
up.
came back to
you
die.
Really did fuck up.
Give up any dreams.
He wanted to die in plain
Yep.
sight of everybody. He knew that if he stayed in
It's like-
California when he died, there'd be
It's like
no
I
one at
ran
his
across
funeral.
the expressway and a semi just missed me, and it's like, oh my god, I can't believe you survived. And then I'm like, no, and I just stand on the expressway
No.
waiting for the next semi.
And he just hasn't
I mean,
come.
it's Paul. It's not that hard. If you actually just physically stand in the middle of the expressway, I bet you get hit by something.
Easily.
That's true.
All right, moving forward, we 2 of us this week saw Two Guns. There was one member of this
Oh,
podcast
yeah.
who did not fulfill their duties this week.
Yeah, who didn't see Two Guns?
And who
Oh,
who was that? Who was that?
Mr. Miller.
Oh, it was me. It was me. Screw you guys. Confused the audience with the cadence of my voice. I did not see Two Guns this week.
With the cadence of my voice.
So, I'm pretty much punting this segment over to you guys.
Oh,
That's
oh,
it?
Have at it.
Give us your your
What?
predictions or your overall feeling from the trailer, all that jazz.
I really do like Denzel Washington, and I really do like Mark Wahlberg. That being said, I didn't think this was going to be very good. I did intend to see it, but I had some stuff come up this week, and it just wasn't going to happen. So instead of coming on here and faking my way through it like I've done in the past, I've decided to
Don't
just
let
come
them
out
know
with
the
it.
secrets.
I haven't even let you know it yet.
Oh.
I knew it. I knew that you didn't see that movie.
I saw The Lone Ranger. I did not see some of the other ones that I told you I saw.
Anyways, all right. So that's all you got.
Anyway,
you love,
well,
you
no,
love the Washington. You
I
love the
didn't-
Marky Mark.
Yeah, I enjoy both of them, but I didn't really think this was going to be great. I didn't think it was going to be terrible. I thought it was going to be typical action fare.
Well, how about this?
Yeah.
Did you see Contraband?
I did see
you-
Contraband. I would have expected this to be better than Contraband.
Okay. Nelson, who
I didn't
directed
think
this film?
Contraband was very good.
This was Baltazar Kormaker, which is a freaking crazy.
I feel that is not the accurate pronunciation of that name.
All right. Well, Baltazar, I'm pretty sure I nailed that one, but Kormaker, Kormakur, Kormaker. There you go. So,
All right, I'll give
Well,
it to
anyway,
Anywho,
this gentleman directed both Contraband and Two Guns.
he did a little better on this one. Went up $3 million for his opening weekend, which is nice. Good for him. Little pat on the back for you. But they came out strong with $27 million. That's number 1 for August, the first weekend of
Yeah,
August.
overtook Wolverine in week 2. That's kind of surprising.
Yeah, domestically.
So, did you catch any trailers for this movie, Cam?
Yeah, I saw a couple. I mean, I didn't really glean anything from them though.
Well,
I just like, oh, guns.
for me, I felt that the
Denzel.
trailer really kind of put it all out there, for the most part.
Well, I can't say that I like sat down and watched a trailer, but you know how it is when you're watching a video online and you get the ads before it.
Yeah.
I mean, like, so I saw it, but I didn't really like sit down and try and like dissect the film. So
Okay.
It was all right.
did both of you see Contraband?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did.
What did you guys think about it in comparison?
Go ahead,
Well-
Nelson. I know you got a lot to say about this one. I'll wait.
No. Contraband was better in D-Box than Two Guns was. I'll say that. But
You are just like the D-Box flunky, man. You are just.
well, I don't have to pay.
I feel
for
like
it.
I feel like you're doing it for sales though. Like you're trying. if we've got 2 people in Utah in your area, you're trying to get them
in
that extra
D-Box?
$7 out of them.
Heck no, man. People come flocking to our theater. We're like #1 in the nation for D-Box seats. That's what's up.
Probably because of this podcast.
Yeah, people just listening like, hey, I better go see that in D-Box.
This new D-Box Chatterbox was talking
No,
about.
The rhythmic, dulcet tones of Nelson Piper have convinced me to enjoy this movie with vibration.
With vibration. It's only when the car turns on. Whenever they're in a car, that's all you get. You get a little rumble with a and then driving off, and that's it. You get a
Kind of like Book of Eli. It must be Denzel Washington movies.
yeah.
You only get like 3 moments of shake during the whole thing.
Yeah, it's not really that impressive. But I like Two Guns way better than I like Contraband. And by liking Contraband, I didn't. So Two Guns was actually, I really enjoyed.
I liked Contraband because it had Kate Beckinsale in it.
There you go. She gets poured
Movie
into
about
concrete.
She lived.
She lived.
Spoilers.
Spoilers. Year and a half later. But Two Guns, I like Marky Mark and Denzel. They had a good conversational back and forth.
Good chemistry.
Good chemistry indeed. Mark Wahlberg, I don't know, he just was playing a little bit of a different character this time. Instead of just knowing everything, he's just kind of the guy who's even in the...
Was he a wisecrack in New York?
That's
Yeah.
exactly what he was.
Was he?
I don't know.
Oh,
For me, it kind of felt... It's trying to be like this outrageous buddy cop action film. And I understand that's what it's trying to do. And I don't know.
Were they buddy in it?
Yeah.
Because I got the impression... I actually didn't get the impression. I just assumed that they were going to be like kind of like butting
They
heads
play
through
off
most of
each
the
other
film,
with
and
these
then-
little quips and one-liners and everything.
Yeah,
Okay.
they hate each other, but then they come to find out that
But they respect each
Yeah.
other.
respect crap out of
That's
each
exactly
other.
what it is. I don't know. Like, I don't really have a lot to say about this movie for me, honestly. Like, I seen it, and it was kind of like what I expected. Like I said, it's just like an over-glorified buddy cop movie. And I enjoyed Denzel Washington, but I felt like they put him in there purposely to have him in there as a badass. Because everything that he's in, he tears up. And they're like, oh, yeah, we'll just get Denzel in here, and he'll do his thing. And we have Mark and Contraband, so we'll bring him back, we'll get them both going. And it's just like, that's exactly what it is. And I just don't buy into it as much as other people might.
Whoa.
Yeah.
All right, understandable. I mean, obviously, again, I didn't see it, but I don't think going in, either of the 3 of us would have thought that this was going to be any great shakes.
No, but...
In terms of just average action film, I mean, was it passable? Did you
Yeah.
enjoy watching it?
It wasn't
I'd say-
horrible.
Yeah, by any means, the action in it was actually pretty good. There came one point where it's a Mexican standoff in Mexico, and they...
As if there's any other place to have
I
it.
know. It's like a group Mexican standoff, and then it actually goes to a Mexican standoff between 4 people. And they all survive. Or at least the 2 good guys, Denzel and Mark. But overall, the action was really good. There's a couple of good one-liners, and then there's this random part where Mark and Denzel have been caught, and they're being hung upside down, and he's just going to beat the crap out of them. And to do that, he, like, the main bad guy, or one of the main bad dudes, the one who's controlling everything from Mexico, his name's Papi Greco. And he's just... The first...
That doesn't sound stereotyped.
He's part of the Mexican cartel.
Yeah.
Blah,
So
blah, blah.
the very first thing
Hey, papi.
Hey, papi. But he like the very first thing that you see in this scene coming back to him is he's just peeing on his hands. And you're like, what the heck? And he's trying to explain the purpose of peeing on his hands. And
Because it's sterile?
it prevents blisters. It toughens up the hands. So
Is that an actual true statement?
I didn't know.
Do we know the science?
Did you do the research on that?
I didn't look it up after that, but Mark Wahlberg the whole time he's like, "Don't touch me." And he says, "No, really, don't touch me with your hands, your piss hands," kind of thing. And it's pretty funny. He's totally fine getting hit with like the blunt end of an axe, but he's like, "Just don't touch me with your hands. I can't handle that." So
Yeah, this also had
Nice.
Bill Paxton in it, and I haven't
Yeah.
seen him like notably in my mind since Club Dread. You guys remember him in that movie?
Yeah.
I never saw Club.
Oh, really?
Whoa.
It was all right, but he's just.
Bill Paxton.
The last thing he was in Haywire, which was just horrible.
I don't
Or
remember.
the last thing that I remember seeing.
Well,
him in.
obviously his big film, Twister, and
Oh,
back in
yeah,
'96.
That's it. That's where he's from. Didn't he also do, or am I thinking of someone else? Like the original Incredible Hulk TV show?
No, with Lou Ferrigno?
With Ferrigno.
No.
That was, man, it's Bill something. I'll tell you what.
But yeah, it was just kind of weird to see him in this. It's like one of them things, like when you're little, I remember seeing him in Twister. So when I seen him in this film, it kind of like, I'm like, oh, time has passed. Things change.
Things have gone.
And he was
Where's Helen
older,
Hunt?
so time had passed.
Oh.
All right, Nelson, how many shakes you gonna give this movie?
Why are we giving it?
Because the
of
D-Box shakes.
Woo!
I'm gonna,
I thought you meant shake because that guy was shaking his penis onto his hands.
what? That too. We can give him a
That's
little.
what I thought you were going for.
There's
With
shakes
that.
everywhere. Shaking.
We got some D-Box wiener shakes.
I thought maybe somebody had Parkinson's disease.
Oh.
I thought that's what you were going for.
Oh.
Bill Bixby. That's who I was thinking of.
There it goes.
Yep.
That catalog knowledge of Cameron Miller. But I would give this thing 6.
Oh, you bastard.
6 shakes.
You're a bastard.
Ooh.
You would do the same.
Yeah, I
wouldn't
gave
ya?
it 6 shakes too.
Paul would give it 6.1.
No, I'll give it 5.9 shakes, but I'm not gonna break the scale. Yeah, I give it 6
We went-
shakes. It's just one of the movies
You can go
that
5.5.
I'm gonna forget about this movie by next week.
Yeah.
It just doesn't.
You're-
It doesn't resonate with me at all.
I already don't remember how the story was
I
resolved.
know. That's like when we come on here to talk about it. It's like, yeah, yep, it happened.
Hey, remember that
saw
one
it.
part where that
See?
guy peed on his hands?
That guy peed on his hands.
I'm the real winner this week. You two paid money to go.
Well, no,
Paul paid money.
no,
Paul paid money. Nelson wasted his time, and we're all three in the same boat of knowing how that story was resolved.
No.
Win for Cameron.
Quick recap for everybody. These two, one's DEA, one's ex-Navy something or other, and he's trying to get back in the good graces of the Navy. James Marsden's in this thing, of all people. And
He plays Cyclops, which means he's terrible.
Yeah.
because Cyclops is terrible.
so he's trying to get things resolved. They end up stealing a bunch of money, more money than what they planned on stealing. They were only supposed to get $3 million from this small bank, and they get 47. Come to find out, it's the CIA's. And then the plot ensues
Did they
from
have
there.
Did they have an Office Space-esque decimal issue? Is that why they withdrew 47 million instead of 3?
No, they
No.
were all in these private little cases, and so he blows up every single case to find the $3 million, and every single case is just loaded with money. So they're like, "Huh, what do we do?" And he's like, "I don't know. Let's load it all up." And
I'm hating it more the more I hear it. Basically, there's money in the bank. They stole it. It was more than
Yeah,
they thought. The cartel
movies
got involved.
typically
The
get-
CIA got involved, and then it ended.
everybody died.
Yeah, in
except
the
for two of them.
retrospect on action movies is typically worse because you're not seeing the action.
Yeah.
You're just talking about
Just
it,
hearing the horrible
which
story.
takes away a lot of the allure.
I know, but I
of the
was
film.
kind of on the edge of my between a 5 and a 6 on the scale for me on this one, and like the more that I thought about it in my head, the more I was leaning towards a 5. But Nelson had talked about it. Had talked about Denzel Washington. I'm like, all right, I'll bump it to a 6 for Denzel.
just for
Denzel.
Denzel.
Give him the
Well,
guarantee
let's,
bump.
Let's jump off there real quick for a sec, because I was gonna, since we have a movie that's got 2 big name actors that I think we both kind of enjoy in the past. Let's talk about what our favorite roles for each of these characters have been in their careers.
Oh man, for me, Denzel.
Favorite Denzel movie.
Remember the Titans.
Oh man, what?
Hey, I need a fake 23 blast with the backside George
Man,
reverse.
dude, that hit me in the
fake
face.
23 blast.
When you
with
said that, it
backside
hit
George
me in the
reverse.
face so weird. I didn't know what to do with it. Like I was.
Also starring Donald Faison in that movie.
Yeah.
I just remember the kind of ugly jock guy died. Whatever.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, whatever, because it wasn't totally heart-wrenching or sad
Whatever.
when you watched it.
People die.
Heartless goon.
People die.
Yeah, and it's sad when they do.
All right, what do you got for Mark Wahlberg there, Nelson Piper?
Shut up, Paul. You give me your Denzel.
Oh, we're
first.
gonna do Denzel first. I thought we were gonna,
Yeah.
He just did
I thought
Denzel. with Remember
I thought
the
we were gonna
Titans.
double up and get them both done. One quick blow here.
I figured we'd all go through and then we'd go to the other.
All
guy.
right, my Denzel
Hit it.
Washington, which should
let's
be
have a mo-
everybody's Denzel Washington movie, is of course American Gangster.
Boom! Yeah, that is
That's
the
why
correct
when
pick.
Nelson said "Remember the Titans," I was like, "Remember the I don't remember the Titans," and then boom, it hit me in the face, and I'm like, "Oh yeah, that
Oh.
freaking Disney."
Yeah,
movie.
like the first movie you probably ever saw with Denzel.
It-
Yep.
I'm gonna throw it back here. I'm gonna go with Philadelphia.
Whoa.
Kidding. American Gangster is my favorite too, but Philadelphia is a good film.
I don't think I've ever
It's,
seen
he
it.
plays. It's an older one. I think it was an '80s film, but he plays a Tom Hanks's lawyer, and Tom Hanks was like fighting a case where he considers himself wrongly fired from this corporation for having contracted AIDS. It was actually a good movie. I'd recommend go watching it.
Interesting.
But anyway, American Gangster was also my favorite. I saw Flight with him, by the way, not too long ago. Whenever that came out, that movie sucked balls.
Yeah.
I hated
he
that
played
movie.
an alcoholic, and you like
In-
didn't care. Like you're just like, I don't care about your life. Just go die.
Just go
God,
die.
You are very morbid this
I'm just
episode.
saying. Like I'm saying, the character in Flight, I had no.
There was no attachment.
Yeah, I didn't have.
Well, yeah, I had no emotional attachment to him either, but I didn't really be like, ugh, just go die already.
You
Well,
start off the first 10 minutes of the movie like, wow, this
Yeah.
is intense, and then it's like, why did we have to have that to make it? That was it.
Now, we did get to see
Oh, okay.
Ruxin's wife from The League naked at the very beginning of that film, which I can't remember her name, but she's very attractive, so I was appreciative
She's
of
very
that.
naked.
She was very
don't remember
naked,
that.
and I appreciated
Did you
it.
guys see
Yeah, she-
Training?
That was the stewardess he was in
Yeah.
bed in. The
Did
very
you guys see
beginning.
Training Day?
Yeah.
I did see
That's
Train
a-
Day.
that's
Very
a
good
very
movie.
good Denzel Washington one too.
That's where
Something
I
like
first
that.
noticed.
That's probably my second favorite.
That's where I noticed him saying guarantee. For all of you who haven't listened, you got to go to our website, look at the blog post for Denzel Washington guarantees, because he says it in every single one of his movies. I can guarantee it.
We guarantee
I
it.
guarantee
We
it.
guarantee he says
And he
that.
says it in this one in Two Guns. There comes a point where the CIA guy is playing Russian roulette, and he puts it on his Johnson, and he's like, he's about to pull the trigger, and he says, the information ain't down there, I can guarantee you that. And you're like, boom, it's done for this.
He
He guaranteed.
He guaranteed you. We guarantee that line's in that movie. I mean, I don't guarantee it. I don't know.
It's there.
They guarantee it. All right, Wahlberg. Piper, you want to start this one off too?
Fine. I'm going to put The Fighter. I really like him in that.
Ah, I forgot about
You're
the
sitting there
fighter. Yeah,
looking
that
at
was
IMDb.
really good.
I can smell you.
Are you kidding me?
I can
I
smell
love
you.
that movie.
I could smell the Internet Movie Database.
I'm looking at your
No, that
computer
was a
right
good
now.
movie. And
I liked
I'm
him
going to
in
go ahead and interject. That was my pick as well. I'm not a very big Mark Wahlberg fan, and it's partially because have you guys ever seen The Happening?
Yeah.
I
I
have
just
not,
cannot
but
get over him in that movie. It just
Him and Zoe Deschanel.
I'm familiar with it. Zoe Deschanel's in The Happening?
Yeah,
That was like before
That's
she
his
was like
that's his
to
love
anything.
interest.
there's no need for loud voices, or there's no need to shout. And it's
All right. Well, you were both way off base on that one. The correct answer there was The Departed. So, way to go. Idiots.
Mark Wahlberg was in that.
Yeah, he was a smaller role
Oh, yeah.
than the big three, but he played he was the only one that really lived at the end.
Yeah.
Huh.
He was the one who shot Matt Damon in his apartment.
Yeah.
at
shot
the
him in
end
the
of it. Remember?
face.
Yep.
Man,
That movie's a top 5 movie for me.
Yeah.
That movie's awesome.
it's way good.
Uh-huh.
What a g-
I can't wait till we do a Leo DiCaprio movie so I can pick The Departed again. That's how much I love The Departed.
Man.
Actually, I might have to pick Inception though. It's close.
Marky Mark.
All right.
Marky Mark. That guy.
All right. We have finished our real movie of the week. Unbeknownst to me, until I was informed of it earlier in the week, apparently this is Shark Week. On Discovery Channel. I
Yeah.
guess. And
Happens every year.
I don't know what all the
Watch out for them
I feel like-
seals.
I don't know what all the hubbub is with this every year, but apparently there's a lot of sharks on TV.
You just don't get
And,
it. You just don't
It-
get the sharks.
it's the
man.
primal
Yeah,
fear
I
of
don't-
everyone.
I admit I don't get it. I have bigger fears than sharks,
Oh.
predominantly because there's stuff that like, I mean, I'm never going in the ocean.
Dude, I'm gonna tell you my
So-
fears right now. Right now, Oompa Loompas from Willy Wonka, and then sharks.
You know what
Those are
my
my two
biggest
big
fear
ones.
right now is? My biggest fear right now is that you're going to try and take this tangent
I
any
have no
further.
tangents. I'm
That's
just getting it out
that's
there.
that's my biggest fear
That's it,
right
man.
now. Anyway, in honor of Shark Week, we decided to review the newly released, I think 2-3 weeks ago, the newly released sci-fi film Sharknado, which blew up on everybody's Twitter, and I know that because it blew up on my Twitter, and there was no reason it should have blown up on my Twitter, given who I follow. So,
Because there was no
so this
need.
thing-
It was people saying, "Hey, something obnoxious happened." Hashtag Sharknado.
it was freaking everywhere during that original viewing on Sci-Fi. So we went ahead and watched that for you this week in place of our horrible Netflix segment, and I think we all agree that this one did not disappoint. Current leader in the clubhouse right now is 500-mile-per-hour Storm.
Yeah.
I believe we ranked that worse than Poultrygeist, correct?
Yep.
Yeah. So that's the leader in the clubhouse right now, and if you guys want to hear our, I don't even know if we call these reviews, but you want to hear us talk about a terrible movie, go listen to episode 5, because that was horrendous.
I think we should leave the sharks out of the clubhouse this week. Maybe just give this one a.
Well, how can we keep them out, man? The wind is just carrying them
Just
through.
picking them right up. Damn it.
Just through.
I think we should
glass.
just rate this on Sharknadoes. Give it a little Sharknado rate out of 10. You know what I'm saying?
How many sharks? We don't rate these movies out of 10. We just compare
No, I'm
them
saying
against the
yeah,
baseline.
but I'm saying keeping them separate from Netflix because obviously this one's
Oh
not on
man.
there. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Oh, I think we still have to rate this on
Disenfranchisement.
that scale.
we got to give it the B-list movie review.
I mean, I don't think we're going to have to worry about it, at least in my term, because I thought this was better than 500-mile-per-hour Storm.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
if you want to be perfectly honest, they're kind of the same movie, except one has sharks
So
in both movies.
I
they're
just
being
want to
chased by
spit out
storms.
the premise of this movie really quick of what I've seen, what I could gather from what I witnessed, because I had a
You
hard
watched the whole
time
thing?
watching this movie. But from what I could
I
gather,
finished Sharknado,
So-
front to back.
a
Wow.
hurricane
Cover to
hits
cover.
LA, and the sharks wash up on shore, and then all of a sudden these tornadoes come and suck up the sharks, and then the big issue happens. How are we going to take care of these shark tornadoes? And of course, we make homemade bombs and we get in
Oh.
helicopters and we throw them at the tornadoes,
All right, can
and
I?
that's it.
Yeah, that kind of is it.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: there was so many things that like occurred to me during watching this movie, and I'm sure I won't be able to remember even half of them now that we're talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
But one thing that I do remember thinking was, in 500-mile-per-hour Storm, they killed the storm by like shooting a laser through like the heart of it, right?
Yeah.
And in this movie, the whole goal was to like throw essentially what was a pipe bomb into the heart of like the tornado. Is this like an actual thing for like dissipating severe weather? Is to just pierce the
core.
very dead center
Yeah.
of it with like explosions or just like
That'll throw it
very
off.
like counteractive, whatever. Like I think they explained it in Sharknado.
Somebody
The guy
somebody
goes,
get on Twitter.
It's cold and hot.
somebody get on-
It's cold and hot winds swirling together.
Somebody get on Twitter
And
right
y-
now and holler at Bill Paxton and say, "How do we take care of these damn tornadoes?"
That would have been a great cameo for this film too. Like
Yeah.
instead of getting Tara Reid, if you get me Bill Paxton,
Or
you're
freaking,
like, whoa,
what's that guy?
this ain't my area of expertise, man. I don't know nothing about no sharks.
Or John Holmes or whatever his name is, the dad from Home Alone.
Yeah.
What was he doing in here? Get out of here!
Who did he
needs 'em?
play in this movie?
Just the barfly.
The drunk
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that was him.
Yep.
We had Tara Reid continuing her stellar career in this film.
I don't even think she
Oh,
knew
it's
she
just
was
all
there. I
gone
don't think
downhill
she-
since Van Wilder.
I think she was like
She-
still doing.
She really did. Didn't she really look like kind of drugged out?
Yeah.
Like
That's what I was
She really
saying,
did
yeah.
look like rode hard and put away wet.
I
in
think
this
she was
movie.
battling
It was
her own
rough.
internal Sharknadoes during the whole film. I don't think she was there with us the whole
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, she did not look in good shape.
What movie are we doing right now? Oh, Sharks. Oh, okay.
Mm.
So
You mean I'm not recording American Wedding or American Reunion? What do you mean that came out on video 6 months ago?
The very fact that like Ian Ziering is taking freaking directions from Tara Reid just disqualified this movie as being any sort of credible source for anything. She's all at the very beginning when he's calling to make sure she's okay. It's like, why are we even having this conversation with her? She doesn't even make any sense.
Yeah.
She's just walking down the stairs like, bleh, bleh, bleh.
That was kind of part of like the weird thing about it, was her character didn't really have like anything to say or do during the whole movie.
Yeah.
So they really just went out and got Tara Reid because they wanted like a quote unquote big name.
They wanted her name.
You know what I mean?
They wanted her name on
Yeah,
the poster. Yeah.
Yeah, she's listed first on the poster and everything, but she didn't do like. I mean, if you're gonna go out and get like a B-list celebrity, but like some people actually enjoy, go out and get yourself like a, I don't know, like a Dave Foley or like a, I don't know, like just some guy that at least has like some kind of a following. You know what I mean? And people like seeing and crap.
Yeah.
This was just no one wants to see Tara Reid. No one has wanted to see Tara Reid since Van Wilder.
Yeah.
Anyway. So
wait a minute.
What else do we got to say?
So one of them, there's tons of issues in this movie, but one of the things that I thought was pretty funny was when the sharks landed in the swimming pool, and everybody gets out and it's all okay, but for whatever reason the chlorine doesn't affect the sharks. But then so they pour gasoline into the pool and then light it up and blow them up. Like
boom.
I don't know. That whole scene just went on way too long. It shouldn't even have been.
Yeah.
Well, the whole movie went on.
I totally agree with that.
But there was one part that I remember. The main female character that we had, her name was like Nova or something. Basically, she was like the waitress at the bar that the movie like started to take place in.
Yep.
Her. She had like a shotgun throughout this whole movie, and she was like an amazing shot with it, just out of nowhere. That was one of the flaws that I noticed.
Mm-hmm.
But there was this one part where she's just like pumping this one shark with just like she puts like 8 slugs into this thing, and I'm just like, I know what's coming. Like you just wasted you wasted every bullet you had, and sure enough, without missing a beat, like they kill that shark. They're in the car, and she turns to one of the other people in the car and goes, "Oh, I'm out of ammo." You killed it you shot a shark in the head with a shotgun. You like 8 times. What was the reasoning behind that one?
Mm-hmm.
So that was one that frustrated me. At the end or towards the end, also where our main character, whose name was, what was his name, Finn or something?
Yeah.
Our main character Finn was like when you were telling us they were like dropping the bombs from the helicopters and stuff. Yeah. And he's just outside, like, with a Glock, just picking off sharks in the sky. Like he's just got a pistol and he's shooting at these sharks in the tornado and just picking them off, and they're just falling to the ground.
That's the thing that doesn't make sense. They're being propelled by this tornado, but the second you shoot them, it's like, oh, we fall out.
Another one that really bothered me was like when the tornadoes first started forming, they're like standing on this bridge or street or something, and there's like steel girders like being like swung around and flinging all over and stuff. Yet they're like standing on the ground, not being picked up by the wind.
Yep.
Oh God, there was so many. The ridiculous scene where the school teacher gets killed in the bus. They go on top of like that freeway thing, and like this piece of steel just falls.
It's like my mom always said Hollywood would kill me.
Yep, and then with that, just immediately
flattened.
after, just
It's
gets
so stupid, man. One of the other things, I just like the editing in this movie. Like I couldn't. It wasn't even like coherent. Like there was this part where, there was some times where they were doing like a dialogue scene from in the vehicle. Nobody's mouth was moving, and like you would hear them talk.
You just hear them.
There was another part where the cops they get into the city, and like out of nowhere it's all blocked. There's cops like just blocking all the roads, and they did like all these weird cuts with like a guy on a motorcycle taking off. It just felt like it was from a completely different movie. They're like, oh, we got this B-roll of cop footage. We'll just throw this in here. Fuck
Indeed.
it.
There's a lot of positioning errors. The guy in the very beginning with his Ski-Doo, He's following
Oh
Finn.
yes,
And
I was gonna bring
Yeah,
this up.
it made no sense at all. There's sharks that are like right next to the shoreline. Then there's a point where he's still on his surfboard and they haven't attacked him, but they're attacking everyone in 2 feet of water. And then his ski-doo goes from being like 5 miles out from the shore to he's 5 feet away from his friend. And I just didn't realize. I couldn't understand where we were.
He's off his surfboard.
He's flying behind him on the ski-doo.
How about once they both finally get on the ski-doo and they're like heading in, and there's like the cutaways where it's like they're actually on like a ski-doo and stuff, and there's like talking that you hear like overlap to that because it's pulled away, and then all of a sudden you zoom in on them. And it's clearly green screened, and they're just like you see both their heads in the shot.
It goes from being sunset to midday.
Yep,
Overcast.
There's a lot of consistency errors in terms of that. But it is a sci-fi movie, and that kind of comes with the territory with it, I guess.
It needs to. At the very beginning part where there's the random Asian dude on the boat, and he has to talk with the captain who freaking looks like the guy from Jaws.
Oh, yeah.
I forgot all about
What the
that.
hell was... Yeah, what the hell was even the point of that?
Nothing.
Like, they're making a deal on the boat, and then you hear, like, nothing about it the rest of the movie.
Yeah.
I mean, the boat, I guess, gets destroyed, but...
He's just
I
trying
thought
to be
what was-
like a modern-day Hooper from Jaws.
What I thought was going to happen with that was that they had, like, a bunch of sharks, like, trapped on board.
Yeah.
And then that boat was going to get, like, pulled up into, like, a, the water spout or whatever. And then that's where all the sharks and the tornado were going to come from.
But it didn't.
But instead, that boat just, like... Yeah, just that boat just, like, got sunk and everyone on there got killed. And then, like, later the tornadoes came with the sharks in it.
just so random.
I don't know. It was just completely unnecessary, that whole first scene.
I just felt like there was going to be a bigger part to play in that whole thing, but...
Yeah. Nope. Nothing.
Done.
So, yeah, back to what you were saying about 500-mile-per-hour storm. I feel that this one, they were still kind of trying to do some intentional crappiness, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they
Whereas-
were. 500-mile-per-hour storm, of the 3 we've watched so far, was the one that took itself, like, the most serious.
Yeah.
So, I agree with you on that front. Before we do move away from Sharknado, though, I want to talk about the one most ridiculous part of the whole movie, I thought, was the very end when he's got the chainsaw.
Oh,
You remember?
this
So-
became a big, like, GIF image of... That's all.
Of, like, him, like, diving into the shark.
That was...
All right, so here's what happened. Our main character has a chainsaw, and they've just blown up the last of the tornadoes with a bomb. So there's, like, sharks falling from the sky now. And his daughter is, like, running toward him, and there's a shark about to fall on top of her and eat her. And he, like, shoves her out of the way, all in, like, one fluid motion, like 5 seconds. Shoves her out of the way, starts this chainsaw as this shark is, like, coming down on him, then pulls up his chainsaw and, like, dives inside the shark.
Yeah.
Now, there's a couple major issues I have with this. First of all, the shark that, like, ate him,
That's
shark
not
that ate
canon.
him wasn't... Yeah. The shark that ate him wasn't really that big. Like, I didn't think it was, like, even really big enough for, like, him to like, get stuck in there. Because he's inside the shark for, like, a good minute or two
Yeah.
with this chainsaw, like, trying to, like, cut his way out. But I feel like as soon as he went in there, the chainsaw would have just, like, ripped through the back of the shark.
Right,
Yeah.
like he would still
And
be
just-
standing there. Type
And
thing.
he would have and he was just, like, gonna pop through.
Yeah.
Well, the other issue I had with it was, like, a few minutes before this, that main character girl I was talking about, like, she was on the one on the helicopter. She was, like, throwing bombs into these tornadoes, and she gets eaten by a shark that latches onto the helicopter. And it turns out that the shark that's falling and he runs into with the chainsaw is the same shark that eats this girl. So now I have to believe that this shark, that isn't really a massive shark, is housing 2, like, full-grown people
with
Yeah.
a running chainsaw.
with a running chainsaw. So now I've got to believe that there's 2 people, a running chainsaw that didn't immediately cut through this thing. And then when he finally does cut his way out and they, like, both crawl
Spoilers.
out of the shark.
Spoiler
Yeah,
alert.
sorry. He finally does get out and they both crawl out of the shark. The girl gets out and is totally fine. If she's fine, dude, if she's in there, he went in chainsaw first. He would have cut her in
Her
half.
makeup's still all intact.
Yeah, she looks just gorgeous still. Just, covered in a little shark blood. But
Yeah.
you got to expect that in a day's work. So
I do want to bring a mild coincidence up. Every single one of these B-list movies or the Netflix reviews, technically this could go on the scale because, first of all, the studio that produced Sharknado was the Asylum. They also made 500 Mile Per Hour Storm, and they also made Snakes on a Train. So,
but not Snakes on a Plane?
Not Snakes on a Plane, just Snakes on a Train.
Wow, how is it possible? Like, we didn't even really know that. We just did 3 of their
Well,
movies
no,
by happenstance.
by happenstance. It's just like, hey, this movie looks horrible. But after seeing Snakes on a Train, I felt like, in 500 Mile Per Hour Storm, I was like, this feels very similar. I feel like the writers and the way this movie was made are similar.
No, it totally did feel. I mean, I didn't see Snakes on a Train, but it totally did feel similar. Like while I was watching it, it was basically 500 Mile
They
an Hour
just
Storm
love
with
using
sharks in
that
it.
like special effects suite they got on their
Yep.
Macs. They're like, well, we could milk a couple more movies out.
Guys, there's shark fins all over this at
what
the
about
bottom
if
half.
we did 500 Mile Per Hour Storm with sharks in it? You get me?
Nailed
All
it.
right, serious question here.
Yeah.
What are the odds that we get Snake a Cane?
Snake a cane.
They're already in
I was gonna
early
say, that's
pre-production of that.
It's probably in post-production
Yeah.
already.
No, the next one coming out for this group is 100 Degrees Below Zero.
starring the father from Growing Pains.
Oh gosh,
Yeah. All right. So better or worse than 100 Mile an Hour Storm or 500 Mile an Hour Storm? I don't want to. I'm selling it for 20% of what it's actually worth.
For what Paul said at the very end, him jumping through that shark with a chainsaw,
Right.
that just boosts it up.
Yeah.
If it would have made the movie for me if he'd have come clean through this shark. That's what I was expecting.
Yeah.
Him to jump in and emerge out the backside of the shark, and the shark having just been split in half by the chainsaw. That's what I was hoping
But they
for.
got to bring that girl back for whatever God knows what reason.
Well, they could have just not killed her. They had a way cooler action shot.
Yeah. But
Oh,
yeah,
man.
for me, I would say that it's still the remaining champion for me is 500 Mile Per Hour Storm.
Yeah, I think 500 Mile Per Hour Storm was definitely the worst still.
By far. This goes about, well, I shouldn't say by far. I give this 10 points above 500 Mile Per Hour Storm.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna bother with that, like ranking it on that system. I liked this better than Poultrygeist too, so take that for what it's worth.
There we go.
Sharknado for being like an awful movie was actually funny and entertainingly funny. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think it did exactly
Whereas-
what it wanted to do.
Yeah. Whereas 500 Mile an Hour Storm was just terrible, and then Poultrygeist was just like horrific, not like
More of a gore thing.
realistic, not realistically,
gore
but
porn.
horrifically disgusting graphic
Yeah.
thing that was just like, ugh, God, I can't even stand to watch it.
And
So, yeah, that's where I stand on it, and I'm glad we all agree. 500 Mile an Hour Storm still looking to be toppled off its hill.
yeah. How about that?
Yeah.
All right, Nelson,
All right.
take us to break. I think we need it.
We're out of here.
go to
We'll
break.
see you guys in however long. It's 5 seconds for you. It's 6 hours for us. Bye.
It's not 6 hours.
Hi, I'm in Delaware.
We can sell this podcast.
All right, we're finally back from break. So Cameron,
Hasn't been that long.
I hear your fingers pattering over there. What are you doing?
Yeah, I've been playing a game on my tablet for the last half an hour.
Playing
or
the
so
game
while
on
we
the
were on
tablet.
break.
Is it Candy Crush?
It is not Candy Crush.
Is it Angry Birds?
It is not Angry Birds.
Is
Is
it
it
Words
Clash
with
of the
Friends?
Clans?
Look. No. Here's what people don't understand about tablets, and this is why having Apple tablets fucking blows. Because you can get
Okay.
emulators
Stab.
on, huh?
Stab, Apple Stab for no reason.
Yeah, Apple
Continue.
Stab, whatever. But anyway, having Android tablets allows you to get emulators, and I can play old Genesis games and old Super Nintendo games and Nintendo games that I would not be able to do on any Apple tablet because they don't have any sanctioned emulators on there.
You
And
can
all of these
jailbreak
games are fucking way better than everything on the App Store.
Okay.
So
So
lately,
with that being said, what are you playing, Miller?
I'm playing an old strategy game that I started playing when I was younger because it was like my brother's favorite game growing up. I'm playing a little Shining Force right now.
Shining Force.
Yeah, it was a really great RPG game in the I believe this one came out in the early 90s. I don't know, whenever Genesis came out, it was around there. But right now I'm mired in a little bit of a battle right now, and I'm starting to get really pissed off because I can't fucking win.
Neat.
Fair enough.
Cool.
Yeah.
Sweet. Awesome.
Well, why can't you win? Why are you not better at this?
I am good at it, all right?
Oh, sure.
Let's just get that out of the way, all right? I have beaten this game minimum 20 times in my lifetime. And I know that that's a very sad comment.
Is this like Pokemon with real dragons?
No, it's not. It's like there are games like it on I'm sure you've played stuff like it.
Is it like Pokemon
it's like a
Yellow
no, it's like
with
no,
real
it's
dragons?
like shut up. It's like you're looking at like a top-down view, and it's almost like a board game where you're like moving your characters around to like kill other shit in the area.
So it's like Pokemon Snap with real dragons.
It is nothing like that. But I am starting to get pissed because I'm trying to train this fucking dragon that I have on my team.
Called it.
for, like, yeah. Oh yeah, because we didn't talk about it during break or anything. Fucking idiot.
So is it like Pokemon with the dragon, but it's not called Charizard?
We're moving away from this. I just want everyone to know, programming note for everybody listening to the podcast. I will be somewhat involved with the rest of this, but Paul has pissed me off, and I will now be devoting the majority of my attention to finishing this level of Shining Force. So, with that being said, let's move on with the rest of the show, and you guys just fucking say something when you want me to chime in.
Hey, what
All right.
level is your gong?
There actually
Your
is a
game.
character on this. Oh, you fucking Googled it, you asshole.
What, I can't
Oh.
do some Google images? There's
Yeah,
a
I'm
good-
actually not using Gong anymore. I've
You got
elevated
Max?
past. Max is the main character's name. His name is Cam in this game because you get to name him.
Oh,
what about
So it's-
Tigray?
So that's me. Tigray.
Yeah,
Tigre?
whatever.
There's no character named Tigray in this game.
What level is your Chester knife?
Oh, you're looking at fucking Shining Force 2, you fucking idiot.
That's the best line that we've ever had.
There's a centaur named Chester in Shining Force 2. I'm not playing that one.
Oh,
Playing the
man.
original.
Oh,
is-
my bad.
Busting out the Miller knowledge.
All right, let's drag
Yeah, you guys
this,
thought I had an in-depth knowledge
Let's
of movies. And
drag
shit.
this segment into our
A
second
real
half
meat
here.
and potatoes.
Our grits for
If you
those
will.
who eat grits out there.
Let's move on to the
let's
part of the
talk about
show that
some
nobody
games.
fucking listens to. Let's talk about games.
Yeah, let's talk about some games. So a couple
Indeed.
weeks ago, we discussed all the different titles that were coming out during the E3 press conference. We separated everything. We talked about a little bit of PS4, a little Xbox One, little Wii U, little Wii U. Shit, I wasn't even here for that episode. How that?
Yeah, you didn't even bother showing up for Wii U talk. That's how little it meant to you.
So anyway, we cut them all up. So this episode, we wanted to just kind of bring a couple of these titles up and
Just double back, touch on some stuff we didn't devote enough time to.
Yeah.
We didn't feel.
Yeah.
Indeed.
So we got a few games here on the radar.
We got some stuff on the docket.
One would say.
Yeah, I said it.
Someone did say it.
I said it. All right, shut up. Stop stalling. Let's get into
All right.
this.
First game on the list that I would like to talk about is Destiny. Have you guys heard about this? Have you seen this?
Yeah.
Whoa. Destiny?
Yeah.
I got one thing to say about Destiny. It's in my destiny to play this game.
Yeah, squeeze it in next to your Shining Force.
There we go.
Well, I do probably play Shining Force. I probably
So,
come back and beat it.
If you didn't know, and I'm
once every
sure,
month or so.
yeah, I'm sure everybody's aware at this point. Destiny is essentially Bungie's next big title.
And for those who don't know what Bungie is, they're
is.
the people who make Halo.
Correct. And for those who
Who don't know
Gosh,
what Halo
just
is.
just stop
Those
it.
who don't know what Halo is.
So anyway, Bungie's back
You
at it
don't need
again
to.
with an essentially like an open world first-person shooter here that we got called Destiny, and this is going to be actually on across all platforms except for the Wii U.
Oh,
I'm
Just no way
sorry,
to
was
place
that unnecessary? Is that an
No,
unnecessary Nintendo jab?
but
you
Des-
just call me out for
I'm just
bitching about
saying.
Apple.
I'm just saying, enjoy that. That Android tablet.
the
over there.
animosity. So Destiny here, you're defending the last safe city on Earth, and you're defeating enemies, and you had to discover ancient ruins and figure out our solar system and why we've lost all these things.
Look. We don't need to get into all that right now.
Oh man.
I know this is a rough first opening half for
Gosh.
you, Nelson. I know that Paul hasn't been very supportive, and I have just kind of given up.
Yeah.
But I'm focused again. I've put Shining Force aside now, and I am ready to be focused. I'm interested in Destiny. It has elements of gameplay that are RPG oriented and stuff that I care about. It has Borderlands type appeal to me, if that makes any sense to you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Most FPS stuff, again, I know I've talked this to death, but I don't play them very often. But when they come out with one that's got this this whole vast, expansive universe, and the way they're talking about it is they're going to be constantly expanding on it, and basically it's a giant loot-driven leveling experience. That is the kind of stuff that is right up my alley. So this
It's
is
a
something
game
I'm
that
actually...
we're going to be playing for the next 10 years, allegedly.
Yeah.
Well, that's what they're hawking it as. I
Yeah.
have a hard time believing I'm going to play any game for
Well-
more than 10 years, outside of Shining Force.
Do you guys
Perfectly
feel
honest.
that this game really will live up to the hype and hoopla of Halo at all? Do you think?
Well, I'm going to like it better than Halo just based on the
Yeah,
gameplay
but
alone.
gaming society as a whole, do you think this is going to catch on as much as they're pushing for? Or
I
do
think
you
if they have a lot of like mobile aspects to it, to where you can like, I don't know, kind of see your.
I do not see this
profile from, like,
supplanting
an
Halo as
No, I don't
Bungie's
see
elite
that, but I'm
franchise.
just saying, like, with this being like this open world thing, and it is taking over the course of 10 years because of how many games they got slated for this whole journey that they're taking.
franchise?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that with that, I think that they can have a lot of cool little things that keep you addicted. A lot of different perks and things like that to make your character, this custom thing that you're constantly
Well, yeah,
contributing.
all you
Yeah.
have to do is keep expanding the skill tree and raising the
Right.
raising the level cap, and you can keep people coming back.
And
I
as
think
long
it's gonna.
as they introduce some new things to that system, I think that
It's
Well,
going to
look
catch.
how. I mean,
Yeah.
look at how well. I know it's finally starting to tail off a little bit recently. I think, but look at what World of Warcraft has done for the past 8 years or however
same
long it's
thing.
been at this point. I
Yeah.
know it's the same freaking game. And
yeah.
Every
it's
time
just
it comes
still
out.
around. Yep, still hanging around. Still got tons of subscribers.
I think this
Shelling
one,
out every month.
they have a lot of stuff that they're slating for all the mobile platforms where you can view your stuff on your tablet. You can get status updates and things
I
like
think
that.
that's just gonna be a new wave. I think almost everything we see on next gen is gonna have this kind of
Yeah.
cross tablet or cross smartphone integration stuff.
Right.
Because they want you to be fully immersed in it, and to be perfectly honest, that's how you that's a really new and I think is going to be a really effective way of keeping people engaged.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times, if I'm playing a game and it's something that is just kind of a time kill for me,
Yeah.
I'm not being bombarded with it all day, so I just kind of don't feel the need to like every free moment I have to just be jumping on, unless it's something really really awesome and immersive. So I think that kind of stuff can really help to just keep it like on the top of your mind.
Watching the they had some gameplay trailers released for this. I think it was during E3. I wasn't too impressed with it. Like, it kind of looked a lot like Halo. It doesn't look like they're straying too far from that system. But one of the cool things that they did have
I think
was,
you can tell it's Bungie.
yeah, But one of the cool things that they did have was like, it appeared to be like a multiplayer instance where they were all just in this huge open area, and then they had like this live event happen where this like essentially this big attack happened, and it was just like one of them things that would happen randomly throughout that universe. So I like that whole aspect of it. I believe a couple other games are doing that right now, but I just like the fact that, you know, you probably have your side missions, your main mission, and all this stuff that you do with your
and then you have
friends,
this element of
right.
random.
But yeah, there's that element of randomness that makes it more immersive. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm actually legitimately excited for this game. I think I will enjoy it. Like I said a few minutes ago, I don't think this supplants Halo as Bungie's premier franchise. Yeah. And I can see I could see there being a little bit of like, maybe a little bit of problems in the beginning online phases of this game, because this is kind of, these MMOs type games that are porting over to consoles now is a whole different feel than just regular multiplayer. So when it's competitive multiplayer online, you get a lot of those, you know, douchebags that you have, you know, being assholes on your team. You know what I mean? And in games like these and in, you know, MMOs, you have to like be tactical and work together to get through like some of your harder bosses.
Right.
Yeah.
Or your harder missions. So I think that's going to be like a really interesting thing to monitor in the beginning, to see how people adapt to that.
I think it's also
like
to
not being assholes on console
yeah, like
gaming.
we actually gotta be serious and help each other.
I think this is the way society's going to turn around.
That's how they should.
We
market
get it
this
now.
game as the savior of Generation Y.
I think
or
one
whatever,
of the
whatever
interesting things, since it is multi-platform, we're gonna see like a division between like, well, I play it on PS4, so it's better. And I think,
but we see it already.
I think though,
Call of Duty
I think it's
crap.
gonna be in the beginning when they're trying to hash out all the technical issues that appear to be inevitable on the current gen, and I'm assuming will carry over into the next gen as well. If, like, let's say this comes out on PS4 and their online, like, completely crashes, but everybody can play it on Xbox One, that's going to be something that's going to be floating around for weeks and weeks. Like, Xbox One players, you know,
I don't think we see this game with all the hype and marketing and all the expectations that it's starting to garner. I don't think we see this game until the server, everything is like totally copacetic, like everything is like ready to freaking roll out and handle massive traffic early on.
Yeah, but
I don't think they can afford.
I'm just saying the same exact title on two separate systems, you have that argument there of, well, it runs better on this.
Well, yeah, but that's just crap. I mean, as much as I get on here and hawk crap about Xbox all the time, you know, they're pretty similar, to be perfectly
It'll be
honest.
interesting.
You know, so
we'll see who has the better ecosystem, and it's, you know, Sony has never really had that big online community like Microsoft, because they don't have, you know, they didn't have their voice chat figured out. You had to go buy your Bluetooth headset and this and that. And it's actually kind of funny. It's a reverse now. There's rumors that the Xbox One doesn't even come with a headset. They're forcing you to use the Kinect to actually talk. And that might be, I don't even know how well that's going to work. It might work fine, but that's kind of turning people off. And it's funny to hear that when, you know, it was typically always Sony dropping the ball.
The other way around.
Yeah.
I mean, the PS4 comes with earbuds, so you gotta, you know, they really took it serious. Funny little side note, actually, real quick on Destiny was maybe it's probably just funny to me, but I was watching the gameplay reveal during E3, or like the little mission bit that they showed that you were talking about.
Yeah.
And there's like this like little flying around robot helper that like guides you through these areas or follows you around or whatever. And it talks to you and like explains situations, or like, hey, there's, you know, people up here, or, you know, warning you about stuff. And I was listening to the gameplay demo.
The thing in really quick, the
Killzone.
Yes, Killzone.
The owl drone or whatever. Yeah, it does have kind of that same feel. But that little robot like talks to you, and I remember like listening to it, and I'm like, man, that voice sounds super super familiar of this robot. And it was like racking my brain for a few minutes. I'm like, oh, dude, I'm pretty sure that's Peter Dinklage like voicing that thing. And I tweeted at IGN like during the EG coverage. I'm like, I'm pretty sure I just heard Peter Dinklage like talking in the middle of Destiny. And I was kind of upset because I didn't get like a little reaction or retweet
blurb
back, but it came out like a couple like few days after that, like, yeah, hey, Peter Dinklage is in this game. I'm like, fuck you guys. I totally called that like 3 days ago, assholes.
Did you guys see the preview that they have? It's like the CG generated one called The Law of the Jungle for Destiny.
No.
It's pretty intense. If you guys watch Breaking Bad, he's the lead ringmaster of like Los Pollos Hermanos.
The Chicken Brothers.
The Chicken Brothers. And
For
he's
our
like,
non-Spanish speaking listeners.
He's giving this whole background story as a citizen from the last safe city on Earth, and just talking about these new guardians that they have. And the gameplay, as far as like the CG effects and everything like that, it looks really, really cool. And like this is something that you're really going to enjoy.
Was he just
I think the game
the
looks
actor doing the
beautiful.
voiceover, or was it actually a featurette starring him?
They actually, no, they show him for about 10 seconds in the very beginning. He's like reading a story to his son. And in the book, it's just describing the Guardians, and then it just flashes to the Guardians themselves and like them fighting
he's
on
just
Mars
doing
and
a
on the
voiceover
moon.
thing.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's
Cool.
pretty cool. It's got 5 million views on YouTube's.
Oh, is that how we determine it's cool, Nelson? 5 million views.
Yeah, that and the overall content and quality of it. But
Well, I got to be honest with you. We must not be very cool because we do not have that many views.
don't be honest.
Go watch our crap so you can we
Hey.
can be popular,
Hey, we got
assholes.
22 views over the course of a week. I mean, come on.
What's 5 million divided by 22? What's the what's the
How many
rate
weeks
of-
is it going to take?
What's the rate of how much cooler they are than we are? All right. We got anything else on Destiny we want to cover before we move on here?
Nah, that's it
Nah.
for me.
It is. It's cool. Go.
No, I'm
it's
excited
cool.
for it. I really hope that. When is it slated to come out? I know this isn't a launch title, but is it actually in that launch window, or do we not know?
I don't remember. If you give me like a couple minutes, I'm sure I can find at least a quarter here. Hopefully not a minute.
See, I didn't. It, all it says is like to be determined on that one. So
That's what I figured.
yeah, we don't have anything.
I'm sure it's probably
set
first
up.
quarter 2014.
Yeah.
I think you can pre-order already. So, oh wait, here's one right here. According to GameStop, it's January, February, March, April, May, June 30th, 2014.
Oh wow.
So there you go. What's that? Second quarter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Second quarter of next year, apparently. So yeah, we're a little ways out here. A little under a year.
But yeah,
Man.
very excited.
But yeah, I am
we'll
excited
see.
for it too.
Moving
Hopefully,
on from Destiny, though, here we're gonna talk a little bit about the Order, 1886.
Yeah, this is something that we really don't have a whole lot of information on. We meant to talk about this during the PS4 episode, but we kind of just overlooked
Kinda
it.
forgot
And I
about
was
it.
kind
Yeah.
of hoping when we did that we might get some more information before we talked about it again. But we
But
really didn't.
nothing has come out.
The website is pretty bland. It's just got the video
we
that we
know-
saw at E3.
It takes place in 1886.
Yeah.
I don't even know if we do.
No.
That could-
It's
I mean,
taking,
is that the date, or is that like
Yeah.
the order, or is that like their order number or something?
No,
I mean,
that's
I don't know.
That's
oh
the
yeah, it
year.
probably is.
So it's going to be like a Victorian era London, and they've apparently this take on history is we've got super advanced weapons. As far as weaponry went, like it just increased way quicker than what it obviously really did. And there's an elite order of knights that have this age-old war that's been going on with these animals. And this is something that we were talking about, Cameron, with these monsters. Everyone's speculating online, like, what are these monsters?
Like, as soon as this video was shown, like, I remember I was watching the E3 coverage on IGN, and they had someone on with the game or someone talking to somebody about the game, and then they, like, sent in the questions they asked them. And, like, one of the first questions they asked was, like, oh, so what are these monsters that are, like, attacking us? And me and Nelson were talking about it, and we were like, these are, like, clearly werewolves,
yeah,
right?
in
Like,
no way,
they
shape,
are-
or form could you misconstrue this as not being werewolves.
And I haven't seen anyone
I hope you're
say
so
it
wrong.
at all. We probably are. We probably are, like, way off base. But, like, it was just the initial reaction people had. Like, me and Nelson probably are very wrong. They probably aren't werewolves. But when
No.
you look at them the first
Stick
time,
to your guns.
look, if I had to bet money, that's what I'd say they were. or some
Yeah.
some lichen monster, or some variation on werewolves. That is totally what my guess is.
Yeah.
And we may be off base. Odds
Well,
are we probably are off in some form.
London.
But it was just so weird
and
to me.
London and Ancient Foe. Ancient Foe. I mean, that's werewolf.
Yeah.
That's crystal clear to me.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Sure.
And you see the gameplay from this trailer, and I don't know unless you haven't watched the Underworld franchise,
Yeah,
then
they
maybe
do
I
totally look like lichens.
Yeah, they look like lichens. They look like what werewolves are going to be, or what we know werewolves have been shown as. And
It's
They're
just,
in London. It's foggy.
it's just
you
very
know, werewolf
odd
fog.
to me that nobody in any of the coverage I read anywhere on the internet, I didn't see one person say, "So are these werewolves?" Because they totally look like werewolves. I just thought it was really weird because as soon as I was watching the trailer, I was like, "Oh, they're killing werewolves. Yeah, this will
Yeah.
be cool." And then like everybody was like, "Whoa, what are these aliens? Or what are these weird mutants that are like crawling all over the ground?" Even the way they move is like animal-like.
yeah,
I mean, they're like jumping all over, like on light poles, and they have control of like all of their limbs, like are able to like grasp, and I mean, it's just they seem very animal-like. I just thought it was really weird that nobody thought it was that at all. But it's a game, like I said. I wish we had more information on it right now, but it looks.
Is there
very
any
cool.
projections on? Is this gonna be like a third-person action adventure game, or is it like a first-person shooter?
it's an action adventure.
Yeah, I haven't heard
Okay.
anything about first person or third person. If I had to guess, it feels like it would be because
Third.
there's so much focus on the weapons in the original trailer. I would almost say first.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I might be way off base, but I mean, it just seems like
The review that I read, I have one here that's just saying it's a linear third-person action adventure.
well, there you go.
with
I'm way wrong.
with shooting mechanics. But I see this again with this next gen. We're not going to be slated in this one specific category. This is going to be a complete, I don't know, adaptation or something that could really come off as I don't
What do you
even
think
know.
you're gonna have
Get it out.
like cross
Well, you could do that.
person?
yeah,
or whatever?
yeah, you
Like
could do
some,
that stuff
like
already,
third person
but
elements, first person elements, that stuff.
Fallout
yeah.
let you do that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I could totally see that. I guess.
but I see it
But I
adapting
see
it
that.
more.
I don't know if I see it for
I see what
this
you're saying.
game more because I think it works better when you have those open world type games, and since they've already confirmed it as being linear, or at least to some degree linear,
Yeah.
I would be a little
I'm,
bit
you know,
surprised
honestly,
in that
I'm
aspect.
seeing this like as an Uncharted, but in a
yeah,
completely different.
Last of Us type
time
thing.
frame.
That's
That's
yeah,
what
that's
I'm
that's the
thinking.
gameplay style.
Yeah.
When you say third person act, I mean that's what that is.
Yeah.
At first glance, I would have told you that this was a first person shooter, but since it's not, I'm assuming the shooting mechanics will be more similar to a game like Uncharted. Or
I do like that it's taking on this world that, in my eyes, hasn't really been tapped in a while.
Yeah.
A werewolf
Yeah.
type game like this. So.
well, we don't know. We don't know.
Well, yeah, that's true.
This might be our one breaking news we ever have on this podcast. It's werewolves.
Called
you
it.
heard it here first.
But I do know
Based on absolutely nothing at all.
just from our logic.
Yeah,
Really?
just from our incredible abilities to deduce
Yeah.
our deducement.
But they do say that the map of the entire London area, it's not going to be exact one-to-one with the mapping because you'll be able to go from apparently one area to another in the matter of a few minutes where it should be taking you like a half hour to an hour. But they did say as far as the entire city of London, it's going to look very true to 1886, apparently.
Have either of you played Dragon Age at all?
No.
No, I
And-
have not.
Paul, all right.
Get off this dragon fix.
Yeah, I know.
It's killing me.
You're killing me, Smalls. But I don't know. I was just gonna say there was like some fast travel mechanics in there that could be similar to what you're gonna see in this, but I won't even go into it.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to think if there's anything else I wanted to cover with the order.
I think it's a mystery.
I don't think so. It's a new IP from Sony, which means I'm excited about it. I have high hopes.
What we got
it.
for release window on this? Anything?
Nothing.
I think
TBA.
Yeah, if I had to guess from the feel I've gotten, and I think I've read maybe a little bit of projection on it somewhere.
I'm getting the
I'm gonna
feeling
guess
it's going to
third
be
quarter.
like last year's Watch Dogs, right? We got the first glimpse of it this E3. Next E3, they're going to give us a little bit more. Maybe
And
we'll
then it
see
comes
it.
out shortly
it
after
comes
that
out.
E3.
Yeah, maybe we'll see it fourth quarter next year. Holiday
Yeah,
season.
I would say, barring any setbacks, which there easily could be some, because in big releases like this, we see them all the time.
Yeah.
But barring any
it might
setbacks,
just disappear.
I don't think that's gonna happen. I don't think they would have featured it in the original PS4 launch,
Right.
conference if there was any doubt that this game wasn't gonna get finished. But barring any setbacks, I would say third quarter, fourth quarter next year if I had to guess. So.
This game's either going to be really friggin' awesome or really suck, in my opinion. It's not going to be. It's not to me.
Tantalizing information coming from Nelson there.
For me, viewing this, it's supposed to be almost like a film type experience where it's a very linear.
Well, that's where we're going
play.
with a lot of games these days.
And that's the thing. It could be a really compelling story or something that you really are just interactive with, like The Last of Us that you guys were describing our first couple episodes.
With a game like this, when I first saw like some of the opening stuff for The Last of Us, I could tell you that I was going to be emotionally invested in those characters. Now, granted, I've seen one trailer so far. But this game doesn't have the feel that, not that I won't care about them, but it doesn't have the feel of something that I'm going to be
really in depth,
really engrossed in the story with. I may be wrong. Maybe there's some kind of unrevealed plot point which will grab me or something like that. I don't know.
And that to me is the reason why it's never going to be either it's a really great game or a really crappy game. It won't ever lie in the middle. I don't think. They either have this story right and they nail it, or you're just like, why?
Or it's just another typical third-person action game.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
I wouldn't disagree with that.
Indeed.
I would say I would lean towards more it being good than I would thinking it's going to be. Again, I don't think Sony puts this in the opening PS4 press conference if it's not going to be well constructed. The gameplay is going to be fluid. It's going to control real well, and it's going to have some meat to the story. I don't think that they represent it there if it's not going to be all those things.
Do you remember back when the PS3 was announced, there was a game called 2 Days to Vegas?
No, not at all.
You don't remember that at all? Basically, it was showcasing the next gen graphics at the time, and this was back when we were on PS2 waiting for the PS3 to come out. And it was essentially like all the screenshots were like, oh, this is what the next Grand Theft Auto is going to look like. And it had all these like realistic shots of like cars and all this stuff. And it was supposed to be a game that was coming out within the launch window, and it never happened.
Nothing happened. Well,
nope.
I guess there's a history for it. But I would be surprised if that happens with this.
Yeah, no, I agree.
So moving on, our final game that we're going to be talking about is The Division. And this is the one that I think we have the most information on, and this is the one that I'm the most hyped about, because from everything that I've read and watched about it, I feel like we are getting into the actual Matrix. We're being uploaded into the system, and now we can do everything. We can do everything online. I don't need to be alive anymore.
You don't never ever need to exist outside of the comfort of your living room.
Yep.
Is that how you feel?
That's how I
Shit,
feel.
you can order toilet paper on Amazon these days. Why the hell do you need to leave?
Yep. What's the point? But
yeah, I'm very excited for this game. It doesn't seem like something I would normally be super interested in. MMOs in general aren't something I'm typically super interested in, but it's reeling me in with, these sweet RPG elements. And I know MMOs traditionally, they always have that kind of stuff in it, but I hate the idea of forced, like, massive group interaction.
Yeah.
I hate that crap. But this one I like because it seems like at least in the stuff we've seen so far, limited group, 2 to 3 players. So this seems like something like the 3 of us could just play together. You know what I mean?
We could all get on at the same time.
And that would be pretty sweet.
And if I'm
Just
not
to have
mistaken, this is
This
Tom.
massively open world we can get around. It is a Tom Clancy.
Yeah.
It's Tom Clancy's first
Ubisoft.
stab at a MMO, right?
MMO. Yeah, I
Indeed.
think I believe that this is the first one of these types of games. So.
As of right now, it's slated to come out at the very tail end of 2014.
Yeah.
And with all of these Tom Clancy ones, there's always delays. So that's what we're looking at for when it's coming out.
So quarter 2, 2015.
There we go. But watching the gameplay of this and actually seeing people together trying to figure out this story or trying to just secure areas, one, the graphics of this just from the gameplay really do look stunning. This is the super exciting thing to me, that for once there's an actual promise that's being kept. I feel that when we see the next gen coming out, there's always the CG and there's always an amped up graphic gameplay. But this one
yeah,
is,
I know what you mean.
is real life, and you see it playing as they're playing it, and just really freaking creepy how cool it is that you can be in this world. You're just uploading into the server with everyone else who's on, and you're in New York City trying to gather stuff, gather information. I'm not really sure where the story is going to take place after that, aside from it's a post-apocalyptic New York City.
I think it's just in New York. I think they said that.
It's just New York. So you're going through the 5 boroughs, and
Is everything too... I'm sorry to cut you off, but is everything too model of like actual New York City in this thing?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously there's probably some destruction and,
Indeed, but this
that
is
kind of
actually
stuff, but-
supposed to be the exact size and everything
everything.
to it.
So where the Empire State Building is where the Empire State Building is, I guess is
Yep.
what I'm getting at.
Yep.
So when I was
Gotcha.
watching the gameplay trailer at the end, I think it was near the end. I don't even know if they really actually showed it, but they were walking into what was essentially like a multiplayer zone.
Yeah.
There's like a squad of guys. They walk into the zone, and there's actually other players walking into it.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's really awesome. How like, boom, it'll just pick up in a multiplayer instance. But
Yeah.
I'm wondering how they like determine friend and foe in that situation.
Yeah.
Like, I wonder if I have the ability to be like, I'm like,
Just
screw
shoot
you
that
guys.
person?
Well, yeah, like I came in here with you guys, but I'm sick of you guys, so I'm gone.
Is this
Yeah.
is this the thing? I can't remember exactly how this trailer goes, but is it, or the gameplay video that they showed us? But do you start off by yourself at the beginning of it,
No.
and then they just drop in, or is it 3 people right from the get-go?
It's 3 people right from the get-go, and you're the third person that comes in. So the
Oh,
other
so
2
they're
are
already
waiting
playing.
for you. Yeah.
Gotcha.
And you say, he's like, hey, I'm in. And they start walking down one of the streets. They go into a building, get some information. As they're in the building gathering some supplies and things like that, which I think is going to be another kind of Last of Us feel, where you're really like, oh, I got to save my ammo. I have to keep up on my supplies kind of thing. And
I'm gonna be interested to see how that works out with this.
you hear some action going on outside, like you hear a couple gunshots, and when you come out, you're playing against this massive AI group that's just fighting, and you see the kind of technological advances that they have. There's some like remote bombs that you can, I don't know, start and then kind of travel with them. And with the Division, there's going to be a really cool development with the tablet, so you'll actually be able to see the gameplay from a top-down view. And that's where I'm getting this feel that it's kind of like the Matrix, because you're seeing it from the operator's standpoint. You're seeing everything that's going on, except it's not in all these crazy numbers. You're a drone that's overhead you, or above you, I should say, overhead you. And so you can actually let your team know. You can give a heads up to your squad and everything like that. And your drone will actually upgrade with you as you level up and things like that. So there's going to be more of a need, I think, for those tablets and third-party developments.
I think that has a really, I really was excited to hear like that kind of thing, and especially like the feel of it, like the drop in, drop out capabilities of being able to do it. Like the guy who was running the drone in the demo came in, did a little scout of the area for him. I think he dropped like some gas or something for some cover, and then just kind of dropped out because he had to go. So I really like that mechanic of it. I'm just really concerned, and I'm sure that this is being addressed and it's probably already taken care of. But I'm wondering what the lag is going to be there. I mean, is it really going to be real time? You know what I mean?
When you get
as
10,000 players all coming to one big war.
Right. Right. So when you're firing a gun, if there's a second or two of delay on my end, I mean, that can really screw up a whole plan.
Yeah, that's more on your network though than
Probably.
anything.
I know.
And I think
that's part of what I'm
isn't there a
concerned with.
limitation on? Isn't it like groups of 4 and then only up to 8
so.
groups?
I think it's something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I don't know exactly all of the online mechanics and how that's all going to work out. Like if the 3 of us are playing, do you guys know? Can we run into a group of another 3 or 4 while we're like wandering around New York?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
That's what the.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
One of the interesting things, and it kind of stems back to what you said earlier, is that these kinds of games are demanding that you actually communicate and work together, and kind of like you said with the MMOs on the PC side of gaming, you already kind of
People
have
are used to that.
You have that understanding, but in the console realm, you have 13-year-olds, bashing.
That's what I mean. It's just like a whole new.
So it's really interesting because it's like, okay, is this gonna reinvent console gaming because you have no choice but to coordinate with each other, or is it going to be something that has some corny ass loophole and it kind of ruins what the experience should have been,
Right.
You know what I mean?
I don't know. It's going to be kind of interesting to see, because then you can also if you're just dropping into play, and that's another thing, I don't know if like the 3 of us are playing, if we're always a group and we always have to play together, or if I'm able to drop into other people's groups, and if the guys playing there are douchebags, if I don't want to play with them anymore, and I just pull out of there? I mean,
can you kill him?
Can I kill him?
Unfortunately, for Miller, he's going to be single player only because he's going to be playing on the Wii U anyway.
I'm not playing on Wii U, dude.
This actually comes out on the Wii U, though. I see that on the
Oh, does it?
the platforms list, which is actually pretty interesting.
Yeah, because you'll already have that tablet set up.
That will actually be really weird with Wii U and the tablet thing. Like, I wonder if I could play the whole game, or if I can just decide to come in as a drone and on my tablet or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. That would be interesting. I won't find out because I won't be playing it on my Wii U. But
True.
It's interesting. They did give a little bit more information about what was going to, or a little bit more of the story of the Division. So apparently this is a faction of the Strategic Homeland Division, and it's split into 3 basic branches, and each of them, there's the Strategic Branch, which is a form of the security detail that works closely with countries' leaders and officials. There's also the Analytics Branch, so they're to secure locations where they can deal with data management and information processing.
so are we choosing like which one of these groups we
Want to specialize?
work for? Or,
Yeah,
or
so it
work
says that
with?
the tactical teams will be who the players control during gameplay. So you
Oh,
can be
and then, like,
between the strategic, the analytics, and the tactical
gotcha.
branch. So I think that's why they're limiting, or they're putting it down to like 3 to 4 players in a group. So they're going to try to keep just one person specifically in that given area of expertise, and you're all part of. Apparently, the Division, the title, is going to have a deeper meaning in the game. So there's obviously something that's happened in this post-apocalyptic world that either they're the reason why it's happened, why the world's gone like this, or they're just trying to salvage everything. But we don't really have a definitive thing on what that really is. So
I like that. I like the idea of only being like groups of 4.
yeah.
I way prefer that than to walking around with like a fucking squadron or whatever.
Yeah, you got 100,000 people, and it's like, okay, everyone,
Yeah.
have at it.
It just doesn't work when everybody's, nobody's taking it seriously anyway.
Plus, yeah, and the tactical element of games is, some of my favorite stuff. That's why, not to bring it up again, but that's why I play Shining Force all the time. I like that dimension, or that dynamic of it. Although I hate this fucking dragon.
Indeed.
Yep. But yes, very excited for the Division. Obviously, long ways to go before we get our hands on it. So, unfortunately for that. But it is one of the titles that we are all looking forward to.
Yeah, the most highly anticipated game for myself this is the one that I want to play and want to play all day.
I would say that this is of the stuff we've seen so far. I would say that this is probably the one. If we're taking Wii U out of the equation, which we are.
We always do.
Well, I know, but I mean the game I'm most anticipating is Smash Brothers. But beyond that, if this isn't number 1, it's number 2, and it depends how you want to classify Watch Dogs. 'Cause I'm really excited for Watch Dogs, but
Yeah.
I know
I'm excited
for you're having a
Infamous.
Ubisoft moment. Yeah, Infamous. God, I'm
Infamous
excited for
Second
Infamous
Son's my
also.
big one. But it's not a launch title, so...
It's launch window though. It's gonna be out in the first quarter of the next
Mm-hmm.
year. It'll be right there. I bet you that game is out early March, if not before. I'd be surprised if it's not.
Yeah.
So that stems out a interesting conversation. What are your... I mean, presumably we're all going to get PS4. Nelson, are you going to get PS4?
I'm
launch
doing
day?
it.
You're doing it? You've been
I'm
saving
doing
away?
it. I gotta sell this Xbox 360, so if anyone needs one, check my Amazon page.
You
Did
are
you
getting one?
did
Did
you
you reserve
pre-order?
one?
I haven't pre-ordered, no.
Oh,
you-
you
you-
get one.
You're not gonna get one.
You should be able to... If you go to GameStop, you can put like $25 down.
I had to put 100 down
Oh,
to
really?
reserve mine. I had to
Really?
put 100 up front.
Man, they're really running scams there at GameStop.
Well,
Yeah.
whatever.
Um,
Got to do what you got to do to get yourself one.
All right, so anyway, we're all going to have PS4, obviously, one
Yeah.
way or another. So what is your... Nelson, what are your, like, 2 go-to games for PS4 when it launches?
Just launch.
Just
Do we
launch
need to
titles?
pull up the launch list again?
We can do that.
Yeah.
Let's pull up the launch title.
Busting it out.
Give me some launch title lookup music. Yeah, you like how I dropped that Nintendo in there, didn't you?
Yeah.
All right, here's what we got day 1. We have Assassin's Creed 4, Battlefield 4, Call of Duty, Ghosts, DC Universe, Drive Club, FIFA, Just Dance, Killzone, Knack, Lego Marvel Superheroes, Madden, NBA, NBA Live, Skylanders, Warframe, Watch Dogs, which I have no idea what Warframe is.
Skylanders and Watch Dogs.
See, the thing about Watch
Skylanders?
Yeah.
You're gonna buy all the
Okay.
little characters and stuff?
Oh, yeah.
My thing about Watch Dogs
Alright,
is that
nice.
it's going to be on both gens, so I don't know... When's the release date for Watch Dogs?
I think the release date for launch. We had a report on IGN today that released potential release dates for in the UK for Xbox One and PS4.
No, I'm not talking... we'll go ahead and finish that up.
I know, but I'm bringing it full circle. Just give me a
Okay.
second. PS4 projected in UK like December 13th, October, or Xbox One like November 29th or something. And
Yeah.
I think US usually gets it a little bit earlier, but I'm pretty sure the release date on Watch Dogs is like late September, early October. No, it's not.
I
No,
got
I'm
it.
sorry.
I just got it
Early-
right here.
Late November.
21st, yeah.
All right, but still out before those projected release dates.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I guess I don't know if I'll have it. I might not wait for PS4 to come out to get
That's
Watch
exactly
Dogs.
what I'm
Yeah.
saying. So I don't know if I can
figured
qualify
that's where
it.
you're going.
Yeah, because I might already be playing
Own
it,
it.
and I don't think it's
Right.
something that I'll get next gen. Since
I
I'm already
do.
playing it.
I do have Watch Dogs reserved for PS4 right now.
Yeah.
But if the gap of time is long enough and I don't have anything else to play in between PS4 launch and whenever I'm playing Watch Dogs, if there's nothing in there to fill the gap, then I'll probably get it for PS3. Assuming that I get it for PS4, it's my most looked forward to game. My other one is Lego Marvel Superheroes, but I know I'm gonna have that before it comes out on PS4 because I'll have that like.
Your 2 launch games are Watch Dogs and what was that?
Those are the 2 games coming up that I'm. Actually, that's not even true because Splinter Cell is I'm super pumped for, but that's coming out way before.
Yeah. No, I'm talking about when
Of
PS4
games that
comes
I'm
out.
going to play on
Yeah.
PS4, the game I'm most excited for is probably. The launch title isn't huge for me right now. It's probably Killzone and Knack. Those are probably
Really?
the 2. If I'm not counting Watch Dogs, it probably is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's why I asked the question
But
because the
that's the
launch
thing is
lineup
because-
isn't that great. So I don't.
No, it's not.
So that's why.
But it's great for some people though, because some people love
Right.
Killzone, and and I told you this a couple episodes ago. I guarantee you, I'm gonna love Knack. If it's good, like an actual good platformer, I'm gonna really like that game because I love that type of game.
I think Knack is going to boil down to how long it is.
It'll be 6 to 8 hours. I bet that would be what I guess.
I'd hope it'd be a little longer than that.
Well, I don't think it will be. I might be wrong, but I would be those games. That's typically the runtime is right around there.
All right, so you're Killzone and Knack.
I guess. I mean, Watch Dogs is number 1 on my list, bar none, regardless of console or whatever. For this year, is Watch Dogs.
Okay.
That's my favorite. Then after that is Splinter Cell, but I'm obviously gonna have that before this comes out. And then after that, probably Lego Marvel Superheroes because I freaking love Marvel and I love Lego games. And that video I watched at Comic-Con the other day, or that I found online from Comic-Con, got me like super pumped for it.
Cool.
I mean, what's yours?
For
I'm
me,
kind of
I'm
excited
actually,
for Drive Club.
Yeah, I was just gonna say mine is probably Drive Club over all of them right now.
I think it's going to show off the
Yeah.
system the best.
Yeah,
I'm
I
kind
think
of
it's
excited
going
in that.
to, it's really going to show us where the graphics are at, which obviously are going to be good. But I think the online community about it and everything, and I think that's going to be really cool too. It's going to change how driving games actually run.
I'm
so
going to
pretty
have to
excited about
give. I'm gonna have to give Drive Club a chance because I haven't played a racing game in so long.
that. I'm actually
Outside
really
of, like,
good at racing games, but I don't play
Liar.
them enough.
Liar.
Mhm.
I'm really good at Mario Kart. But that's different. Like I love Mario Kart, but that's like the only racing game I've played in probably 10 years.
Yeah,
It's
if
either
I
Mario,
wouldn't even
either Mario Kart or some type of kart racer, like Mod Nation Racers or something like that.
I wouldn't even really classify myself as a gamer because I'm not too good at platformers. Third-person
I'm not-
shooters I'm okay at, but like I have always been good at driving games. I don't know why, but I don't
Because you're
like.
such a rebel on the road.
Yeah, but I don't really. Yeah, I don't take advantage of that or anything. Not that
I mean,
there
I don't
really
think
is.
I'm. To be perfectly honest, I don't think I'm really good at very many video games. Like I get my ass kicked in like almost any game I try to play online, like all the time. Now, granted, I usually don't sit down and invest hours and hours into perfecting my skill in fighting games or whatever. I normally just pick them up when I play them and just pick them up and play them against a computer or whatever. So, I mean, when you take your skills online, you're gonna get rolled most of the time. The only games I would tell you I'm actually really good at are strategy games, because I actually do take my time and go through and like meticulously line up my team exactly how I want it and equip everything, build my characters in exactly a certain way to achieve certain tasks. That type of stuff I think I'm really good at just because I don't know, my mind's just built that way. I like doing that kind of stuff.
So
Beyond that, I
see myself
Yeah.
playing Drive Club a lot, and then probably
that and
runner
the
up.
fact that it comes with the system.
Right, and then runner up to that would probably be Killzone, but I don't know. Killzone.
It's kind of by
to
default.
me, I don't
though.
see myself playing Killzone hours on end.
Neither
see
do I.
Probably getting a good week out of it if I like sit there and play it every day.
Yeah.
Maybe 2 weeks, but like I don't know. There's only so much you can do.
Here's the weird thing about it is like I'm super 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 excited for the PS4 to launch, but as soon as it does, I'll probably spend so much time like messing around with the interface and stuff in the early going, more than I will be playing some of the games, because I'm not, unless Watch Dogs is awesome and I have it in my PS4, and unless I get Marvel Superheroes for it,
Yeah.
I'm not super super pumped for anything that's in the launch lineup.
Yeah.
I'll probably finish Knack, but Killzone Shadowfall, I don't really foresee myself finishing the campaign. And again, I'm not very good at first-person shooters, so I almost guarantee you I'm not taking myself online.
I think Watch Dogs is probably your only chance at a game that will give you about
What you want.
like about a
I'll-
month's worth of
Like a lot of time to invest
yeah,
in something.
maybe even more
yeah,
than that.
early on. But
Yeah.
that's why Infamous Second Son is so important in the launch window.
And I just want to say this about Madden 25.
Oh.
I enjoy the Madden games, but I fucking EA, man. They're gonna just give us a high res version of
The last one.
the last.
Yeah, but
one.
what else do you want?
EA Sports.
I know that, but what I'm saying is we're gonna get a 360 release of NFL 25. We're gonna get a Xbox One and a PS4 release. The Xbox 4 and the Xbox One release, they're gonna just be a higher res version of that last gen Madden 25 version. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And that's
but,
I hate
mean, what
that.
else do
So
you?
that
but
means
what
that
else do you want?
I'm just saying
my
that
point.
the really good Madden isn't going to be until probably next year, where they can actually.
But what's going to be different about the year after that? Even.
Oh, I have no idea.
It's going to be this. I mean, Madden is the same game every year.
Madden changed a lot though last year. They introduced the different physics engine with the tackling and a lot of the.
But it's still football.
Well,
Don't
it's
get me
still
wrong.
football, yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I mean, I buy NCAA 14 every year. I buy.
You won't be buying that anymore.
Why wouldn't I be buying that?
They're
Oh yeah, the license
licensing.
release.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell they're gonna do with that now. But anyway, I mean, I buy sports games all the time. I buy MLB The Show every year, and it's essentially the same game every year. But I know that going in, I'm buying it because I want the new rosters. I want all the updated crap and whatever. But I don't ever expect new innovation in sports games for the most part.
I'm just saying, and I've heard this before online. There's like what they called, it's been trademarked, it's like the Tony Hawk effect, where essentially like Tony Hawk 2 came out on
N64.
Yeah, N64
I don't know.
and PlayStation, and then it actually re-released on PS2 or something like that, and it was quite literally just a color palette change.
Yeah.
And like I'm just saying, like I don't want Madden just to be that, and it will because that's how EA is,
Yeah, but I don't know what else you want. Is my point.
I'm just saying, you got a next gen console. You should say, okay, there are 18 different features that are exclusive because this is on a next gen system, but it's not gonna be that. It's just gonna be the same version of it. You know what I mean?
It's not a big deal to me. I mean, I know that going in to it, so I won't really care. I'll either buy Madden on my PS3 and play it until PS4 comes out, or I won't buy Madden until PS4 comes out and I'll just buy it there.
But the whole reason that you can settle with that is because EA sucks ass.
Whatever.
And that's just how they shell them out every year,
And people,
It just
and
is
it's
what
the
it is.
best-selling game every year.
I know.
Outside of when a Call of
It'll
Duty
never
comes
change.
out.
I really wish that
whatever,
it would just
or
be
full-
like
or
you buy the game, and then for the
Gran
next
Turismo,
5
whatever.
years, you just pay for the upgrades. Like you get
You mean
the new
pay
roster.
for the rosters? And
Yeah,
stuff?
you just get the new roster packs or whatever, and then you're done. What's the point of re-releasing a full price $59 game?
Well, first of all, I'm
every
telling you
year?
that's never gonna happen because there's so much fanfare about the frickin' Madden cover. You know what I mean?
Oh, I know. That's
Yeah.
I mean that's just part of the whole thing. Like
Yeah.
they literally get away with murder.
Even though you could
because
just
you're
update
hooked.
the title screen like every season or whatever
Yeah.
with the new roster packs. Yeah, I mean I understand what you're saying, but it's never gonna change. And to be perfectly honest, I can't sit here if you said, okay, you want a new Madden on for PS4, you want it to be different than the PS3 version. If you said, all right, pick 5 things you want to change, and we'll do it. No holds barred. I don't think I could sit here and come up with 5 things that I told you I wanted to be different.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I just don't care. There's just not enough for me to want them to change. So, and I mean, I guess the apathy is as much on my end as it is on theirs, but that's the way it is, and that's just how it's going to be, and I don't really care. I'll either buy it if I want to play it, or if I don't want to play it, I won't buy it.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know.
All right, so that wraps it up for this week's podcast. Thank you all for listening. As always, you can follow Cameron, Paul, and myself on Twitter at CameronMiller00, White Pressure, and Please Piper, or like our Facebook page at facebook.com/WCST podcast. Next week, we'll be talking about Elysium, and me and Paul will be reviewing We're the Millers. We'll get to iOS 7 review finally, and be talking about Splinter Cell, Blacklist, and Dragon's Crown. So that wraps it up, everybody. As again, keep up on the blog to see more of what's coming up next week. Go to the site, WCSTpodcast.com, and ask us what you want our post to be about. Be our director. We out. See you guys later. Adios.
See you.
Oh.